Salute and greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Cray, and thank you for tuning in. Now, as something still is not correct with these clips, gameplay bits, with missing audio, this should be the last one. I decided to do something over it and read a short role-playing story which a friend of mine posted to me on Facebook a few years ago. I find it amazingly humorous and interesting, especially since I'm a big roleplay fan. And this one is about one of those roleplay forums that you can find online. Now, strap those headphones on, because this is gonna be a wild ride. Hey, you guys up for some story time? Of course you are. This is just my experience with freeform RP a while back, and I think it's about time I share it. It's been a long time, so sorry if some of the details are a bit hazy, but I remember the important bits. Behold, the ballad of Edgardo. Get a hankering from some RP cruise a couple forums. Something catches my eye. Some kinda weird combination of stuff from Dragon Ball Z, Gurren Lagann, Avatar The Last Airbender, and a few other themes from different shows. Basically, Animu, the game. Honestly, kind of cool setting after reading through it. Superpower dudes wandering around, doing their own thing, having adventures and trying to stop evil shadows from consuming the world. Looks cool, sign up, start making a character. Characters had attributes, strength, speed, the usual shit. Traits, powers chosen from a big list, and spirit which you'd use for doing cool shit. Had a certain number of points to spend on attributes, max strength and put some into speed, endurance and a couple in charm. Wanted to try a brawler type of guy. I'll get to why that was a bad idea later. I'll look at spirit rules before picking powers because I want to do as much cool shit as possible. Spent spirit to activate powers. Different powers modified how spirit worked and gave it an elemental alignment, which modified damage and other crap. Basically, let you spend 1 point of spirit to get 5 points of fire damage. Neat. There was also raw spirit, which had no modifier, but also no elemental alignment and couldn't be resisted. Less bang for your buck, but could be useful. Raw spirit could also be used to raise a stat temporarily, but the higher the stat, the more spirit you had to spend. Spirit had a cap depending on your attributes. At lower levels, it was pretty low, like 10 or 20, if you got lucky. With my start layout, I had 5. Awesome. Look through the power list to see if I can unscrew my character. Browse through the list, pretty basic stuff. Throw fire, control shadows, frost breath, whatever. Also mundane powers like sword fighting and free running. Chose unarmed combat right off the bat because I want to punch people. Still a bad idea. Keep looking, see something interesting tucked away in the list. Overflowing spirit. Pretty expensive points wise for a simple power, but my ass lit up at what it did. Removes the spirit cap, plus some other crap which I glanced over at the time, but more on that in a bit. Oh fuck, now that's pretty abusable. Figure everyone takes it, so I take it too. Take Battlecraft for spirit buff and to blow the last of my power points. Character pretty much done. Name him Edgardo because it sounded cool at the time. Ready to go. Edgardo the Brawler sets out on his quest to do whatever. Start in the central town, where everyone else hangs out. Introduce myself, describe him as hot-blooded, hot-tempered, courageous, and always itching for adventure. Honestly, pretty flat character, but whatever, I thought it was okay. Promptly getting laughed at for making such a naive, lowbrow character. Apparently everyone has made a brooding anti-heroes who sit in dark corners and really don't want much of anything. I swear the tavern had to be some kind of 8-dimensional shape because everyone was in their own fucking corner away from everyone else. But the last straw came from the asshole drinking his wine at the bar. Edgardo is such a stupid name anyway. Motherfucker. Edgardo did not walk in here to be mocked by a bunch of trenchcoat wearing pricks that are trying to be edgier than a goddamn razor blade factory. take a swing, and quickly discover that I'm well and truly butt-fucked. Apparently, unarmed combat was the host from the start. His fists don't do shit against even lightest armor, and don't get damage multipliers. Fantastic. Blow spirit points just to get past his armor, do a single digit damage. Fucker laughs and stands up. Care to try that again, you pathetic wretch? Use battle cry. Can't think of anything, so I go with Bonsai. And use the rest of my spirit points. Nothing. He dodges, draws his swords, and gives an eye-rolling disappear before he blasts me out of the tavern with a sword lightning whatever the fuck. He spends 1 spirit point for that, and nearly I get one-shotted. Even with a good amount of endurance. Fucking what? So while I'm bleeding out on the side of the road, I take time to browse some characters. First up, Sword Lightning Asshole. Basically the same level as me, but better in every way. Powers are better, higher spirit, good stats. More my fault really, cause I fucked up character creation. Browse more characters and notice something. No one has overflowing spirit. No one. Ask why. Turns out that if you make a decent character, you have more than enough spirits to do whatever the fuck you want. Even the highest level characters only have about 100 cap, and it's rare to get halfway down in a normal fight. And then there was the part I skipped over. Overflowing spirit prevented you from taking elemental powers. You were basically stuck using raw spirit, which was shit. Elemental spirit had damage modifiers so high that even if you resisted it, you still took a good amount of damage. Neato burrito. Edgardo was basically useless against everything. Since I was screwed, I PM'd the mod to see if I could make a new character that wasn't crippled beyond belief. Lol, deal with it, you made it, you play it. So, recap. Everyone is a pretentious fuckwad. The mods don't give a shit, and Edgardo is beyond worthless. Great start. Picked myself out of the dirt, only my way to get myself healed. Nope, I was broke, so I couldn't get shit. I had to sit my ass down and wait to heal naturally, which would take days. Fuck that, I'm already tired of this shit, so I make an attempt to steal a potion. No. Enter Militant Xero. Yeah, that was his name. I cringed too. Omnipotent character 4782. Could do anything he wanted because he had been with the RP the longest. I also suspected that he sucked the admin's dick, but whatever. Teleports to me instantly. I can't do shit because I'm basically down on my feet. Lifts me up in the air with magic physics bullshit so I can't even run. He starts going on a long speech about how crime and evildoers should be punished and how he's the best and blah blah blah. Then gives me an ultimatum. Beg me for mercy, and I might just let you stay in this town. Otherwise, I'll throw you to the shadows. Fuck no, Edgardo does not beg, struggle, swear, spit, and basically do everything I can to do anything to get out of this. Nope, I get thrown through the roof of the building I was in and soar all the way out in the wilderness. Well, I'm dead. Fortunately, newbies get 1 free revive. Cash mine in, Xero gets super fucking butt mad about it, says I'm dead for good because he says so. Why? Call him out in his bullshit, immediately gets shot down by everyone in the community. Suddenly, I'm the bad guy for trying to steal and picking a fight. Yeah, okay. The mods calm everyone down, say I'm alive with 1 health in the wilderness. Last bit of charity I'm getting. I won't even survive the night. But then I met a guy called Squid. Beast folk were a thing, so people could have catgirls and wolfmen and shit like that. A guy called Squid was, well, part squid. Literally just a big muscly dude with a squid for a head. And yes, his full name was a guy called Squid, and he insisted that everyone called him that. Pretty cool dude. Ran into the same troubles I did. Was a punchy guy like myself, but he punched people with fire. Helped me out, shared a potion, and was a general bro. We both decided to stick together and train out here, because we both needed to get a lot stronger before we could head back into town. It wasn't going to be nearly that easy. Got to nighttime. Me and Squid set up camp in a cave. Suddenly, shadows. Because because Mud bullshit and Xero whined enough that I was still alive. I was still pretty fucked up, but I could hold my own, and Squid was in perfect shape. Still, we barely survived, mainly because Squid's fire damage was beastly. We both agreed that we wouldn't survive another night like that, so we hightailed it out of there and back to town. Yeah, no. Invisible force shield prevented us from going back in. I wasn't surprised. Looked on the map, found a nearby town to hole up. It'd take a couple of days to get there, and we were both out of supplies. Neither of us saw any other way out, so we just got walking. Edgardo and a guy called Squid. Just two guys on the road to adventure. Or the road to not dying horribly and somehow getting petty revenge, but whatever. Normally, when people traveled, there were random events that could be either good or bad for you. It was up to how much the mods liked you, really. The mods didn't like Squid or Edgardo. If we got something good, they'd find a way to take it away from us. We stole a lady from bandits on the first day, and by that I mean we kicked the bandits in the nuts, grabbed the lady, and ran like hell. That night, she prison shanked Squid, took what little shit we had gathered, and bailed. When I tried to chase her, she poofed and was gone. Need a burrito. I really don't know why we kept going after it. It was obvious we were unwanted, but we really should have just quit. I think we were both waiting on the other one to give up first. I didn't want to admit defeat, and I knew Squid didn't want to either. We just had to press on, no matter what. Even when we met Sword Lightning Guy again. It had been a few days on the road, and we kept getting shit on. Wolves, rain, another shadow attack. Still don't know how, but we lived. But we scraped by. Either by running the fuck away or through sheer luck and winning a fight. One more day of traveling and we'd be at the village. We were so close that we could taste it. But then the dick from the tavern showed up, blocking the road. Never mind how he got ahead of us, but he was, and we had to take it. Well, 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 if it isn't the wretch from the tavern, and he picked himself up a side dish too. Squid tells him to take a hike and let us through. But this is a toll road. You'll have to pay me to pass. Let's say 1,000 gold. Fucking what? Tell him that he's full of shit and that nobody has that much money. Oh, what a shame. Then you'll have to pay with your lives. And he pulls his swords and blasts Squid, who somehow powers through it. This gives me a chance to get up close and, well, we've established that I can't do fuck all against this guy. I'm banged up pretty good, and fists don't do shit. Only thing I left is spirit. A metric ass ton of spirit. See, as we were traveling, I was hoarding points. Well, not intentionally, I gained some every day, like everyone else, and every time Squid and I killed something, we got a little more. Squid was spending his spirit left and right. I wasn't, and since I had overflowing spirit, I had a lot more points than I had any right to have at my level. Even if raw spirit was crap, a lot of crap could still wreck someone's day. Edgardo had a slim chance, but it was better than nothing. Banzai! Battle cry. Use all of that spirit. Crouch for an uppercut. Sword guy doesn't give a shit. Actually laughs in my face and doesn't even make an attempt to dodge. You're kidding me, right? We've been through this. You can't hurt me. You're the only one laughing, asshole. My fist connects to his chin, and so does all of the raw spirit. Didn't do nearly as much damage as an elemental attack would, but it was still enough to knock him on his ass, which gave Squid the perfect setup. He jumped on Sword Guy and blew all of his spirit too, where once there had been a face, there was now a smoking crater. Sword Guy died, and 2 underdogs to boot. Predictable. He pitched a bitch fit, and so did the rest of the players. We were murderers and outlaws and generally horrible people for deciding not to deal with this bullshit anymore. Me and Squid didn't give a single fuck. We had earned our first actual victory. Sure, we were nearly dead, defenseless, and still had to make it to the village, but we won. Things were looking up, at least for a little while, and we still had to worry about Xero and his crap. Xer was some kind of king or tyrant, overlord or whatever, and this village was just still in his little authority zone. So, when we finally arrived at the village, guess what special surprise is waiting for us? If you guessed invisible, immune to everything force field, congratulations! Give yourself a gold star. And for good measure, he teleports in and taunts us, saying he'll follow us until we're broken and mad, and shut the fuck up already. He cackles and ports away. Squid falls to his knees. He's had enough. We came all this way, all for nothing. Sure, we beat someone, but he'd be rest and in perfect health the next day. So what do we do now? Squid was ready to quit. Edgardo wouldn't have it. We train, Squid. We train. We hiked up a nice grassy hill near the village, then processed to beat the ever-loving crap out of each other. Whenever you got into a fight, you got a couple points toward leveling, win or lose. The only problem is that most characters couldn't spar against one another, as they'd kill each other pretty quickly. Elemental attacks and weapons combined and had huge damage multipliers, so sparring would quickly end up with people dead. We didn't have any weapons, and unarmed combat would have taken days of wailing on someone to actually kill them. The only reason Squid was alright was because he had firepower. So long as we didn't use any spirit, we could beat each other silly, pass out, wait a while to heal, and do it all over again. It was stupid, it was cheesy, and it pissed everyone off, but it fucking worked. Some said that the shadows would attack us, but we were just close enough to the village that they couldn't. I'm still not sure why Xero or even the mods let us get away with this shit. I guess they didn't see it as anything to be actually worried about. Eventually we leveled up though. It was a slow process and there was better ways of leveling up, but this was all we had. Velocity gave me another fuck ton of spirit points. Edgardo pumped up his strength first and evenly distributed the rest. Got a power to double the rate at which he gained spirit per day. I had a plan. Squid just buffed his fire fists. It was a good way to go. Now, we just had to find somewhere to rest and somewhere to regroup. We couldn't just stay and wail on each other for another level. We got lucky the first time, but now there was talk of a few players jumping us. We had to move. Neither of us knew where the hell we were going or what we were doing. We just hit the road and tried to get as far away from Xero and everyone else as we could. The mods fucked with us for the first few days, but eventually they just got bored and left us alone. Sometimes they threw a few shadows our way, but it was nothing we couldn't handle. Random events just stopped happening for us. I think it was mainly due to us not really bugging anyone anymore. We were doing our own thing, so everyone just sort of forgot about us. Well, except for Xero. He was still mighty pissy about me living this long. I had no idea what his deal was. Maybe it was just that the challenge to his authority that I represented. Or maybe he was just a colossal prick. Either way, once we left his authority zone or whatever, he sent one of his lackeys after us. A quick look at this character sheet and I knew just how much Xero hated us. His name was Goldenharl, and the dude was basically invincible. Magic armor lets him resist all elements massively, plus it was super light so he could fly around and do his ninja flipper bullshit. He could heal himself completely by spending a couple of spirit, and his spirit refreshed basically whenever he wanted to. It was official. The mods just didn't give a shit. Oh, and we were screwed too. All we could do was just keep going forward and hope this dick didn't catch up to us. He did. And damn quick too. He met us while we were traveling along the gorge and promptly tried to knock me over the side. Goldenheart wasn't fucking around. No words, only pain. He meant business. I barely managed to dodge him, which was of course met with public outcry, but I was dangerously close to the edge. Squid tried to fire punch with a couple of spirit behind it. No cell, and Goldenharl got a free counterattack because fuck you, he's Goldenharl. Squid is knocked down, but it gave me an opening. I grabbed Goldenharl by the waist and gave him a suplex. My high strength let me get a few points of damage, and it put me in a better position. It didn't really matter though, as he was back up and fully healed a second later. I helped Squid up, but we were pretty much already dead. Goldenharl finally spoke. Any last words? Banzai! The fucker was wide open and had his back to the edge of the cliff too. A quick PM to Squid was all it took. And the quick plan went off like clockwork. Squid ran diversion, going high for a fire punch to the face. Goldenheart didn't bother to dodge. He was invincible after all. He forgot one thing. Raw spirit can't be resisted. Edgardo went in for a gut punch. With all that build-up spirit from the training on the road, it was enough to kill the Goldenheart by a long shot. But it was enough to knock him backwards. And the last step was a dozy. Goldenheart fell into the canyon and only stayed long enough to hear the dull thud of him hitting the ground. I could practically hear Xero grinding his teeth to powder as he tattled to the mods, who really didn't care enough to do anything. Surprisingly, I barely heard anything from this Goldenheart player, just a simple PM saying, "Well played." I almost felt sorry that he had to meet his end like that. After that, we were pretty much free to keep going until we hit another village. Xero couldn't get us out here, so no shield and no bullshit. We could finally rest. Well, maybe. We were still broke, and there was a small army of players after us. Apparently Goldenheart was a pretty popular character, and by killing him, we were now the top of everyone's hit list. Fantastic. Squid slept in an alley, and I kept watch, trying to get a plan together. We basically had to come to some sort of unspoken agreement. Squid was tired of Xero's shit, and so was I. We wanted him dead and broken. The problem was that two low-level characters could do fuck all against the guy. His level was literally listed as an infinity sign. When Squid took watch, I read over the fluff of the setting, looking for something, anything that could help us. And I found it in the city of Haven. Haven was the second biggest city in the setting, just barely smaller than Xero's place. It was kind of a big deal though. See, it was home to the Spirit Well. It was a font of power that everyone flocked to. As long as you were in Haven, your spirit points recharged instantly up to your cap. I didn't have a cap. I still wondered how anybody in their right mind missed this little detail of overflowing spirit. It would just set up so perfectly. Maybe I was being a massive that guy for exploiting this like I did, but I really don't care. Everyone but a few people were complete assholes, and I wanted their little club destroyed. It was petty, it was stupid, and it was probably hurtful to a few players, but Edgardo had a mission, and a guy called Squid was gonna help him see it through, if they ever got to Haven in one piece. I swear, we were the only two players following the traveling rules, because the horde of players chasing us caught up to us a lot quicker than they should have. We had half a day to rest up before we had to hit the road again. I was useless without a build-up of spirit, and Squid could only fend off so many before he'd die. The only route to Haven was long, a winding road through the mountains, and we'd be ambushed if we tried to set up camp anywhere. It'd take a long time. It'd take long, and time was not on our side. So Edgardo had a crazy idea. What if they climbed over the mountains? It was basically suicide, as the random events were especially harsh in that terrain. No one would follow us. After all, something might happen to their super special characters. Squid was on board, and he brought up an interesting point. The mods were ignoring us. Everyone was so pissed off at us, but in the grand scheme of things, we hadn't really done anything major. We killed a grand total of 2 characters through sheer luck and broken mechanics, and I had basically given their idol Xero a giant middle finger for simply surviving as long as I had, and Xero could only suck so much cock. So we started climbing, making rolls and getting through by the skin of our teeth. Every once in a while a mod would glance over and make shit hard for us, but overall we didn't have that much trouble. That's because trouble was waiting for us on the other side of the mountain. From our perch, we got a view of the players coming for us. There was no way we could take them all, and we waited. They'd just get to Haven and wait for us there, and then there was a guy waiting just underneath us. Goldenheart, back from the dead. They must have fished him out of the canyon and have him rest, or maybe he survived the fall and fully healed. Who knows? We know he saw us. but he didn't move. He could just have jumped up and murdered us right then and there, but he didn't. After a while, Squid got tired of waiting. He climbed down, and Edgardo followed to have his back in case things went south. Squid asked him what he wanted. Golden Earl just wanted to talk. Turns out he had more to this story than we knew about it. Goldenhar was in this RP just as long as Xero was, and frankly, he was tired of Xero's shit. Goldenhar earned everything he had, and didn't need to resort to whining to the mods to get what he wanted. When we asked why he tried to kill us, he said it was either follow Xero's orders or get his shit shoved in. In a one-on-one fight, Goldenhar couldn't compete, mainly because Xero could do whatever the fuck he wanted, and no one batted an eye. After we killed him, he was basically done. He was satisfied with the ending he got, but instead Xero revived him and sent him to kill us again. Golden Earl had other plans though. Squin was suspicious, but I believed him. I'm still not sure why. Maybe I was desperate, but I told him our plan. Technically, I told everyone our plan, as it was in one of the public threads. I'm an idiot. Sue me. Golden Earl said he could get us to Haven. His tour was over. He ceased giving a single fuck about what anyone else would say about this. He had only one condition. We had to promise we'd kill Xero and end this once and for all. Edgardo and Squid agreed. This was our only shot, and we weren't about to throw it away. A massive shitstorm erupted from the players' base as we joined up with Goldenhar. Xero called him a traitor to everything that the RP stood for, and everyone made such a fuss that the mods nearly banned the guy. Goldenhar had a bit of sway with the mods too, and he got lucky as shit when they took his side when he pointed out that he had done nothing wrong. With the mods a beast, that just left the army of players gunning for us. The second we hit the road, they were on us. There was no fucking around anymore. The travel rules were basically out of the picture. A horde of super-powered loners, misfits charged towards us, flinging fire, lightning, and all manners of weapons, all of them driven by a singular hatred of Edgardo, a guy called Squid, and the traitor Goldenharl. Goldenharl withered the tide, taking kunai and fireballs and shadow spears, thus without so much as flinching, because fuck you, he's Goldenharl. Me and Squid ran behind Goldenharl as he cleared a path, getting us to the other side of the army. As we kept going down the path, Goldenharl stayed behind, covering our escape. To this day, I do not know if he survived or not. I will never forget his bravery. Since everyone else was doing it, we ignored the traveling rules ourselves, arriving in Haven nearly instantly. Xero bitched, but nobody heard him. There was one last obstacle though, one last player. Kane, the Shadowmancer. Now this fucking guy, he had a power letting him control shadows, and his interpretation of what that actually did was very loose. And since he was in Haven, he could abuse this like nobody's business. As soon as we set foot in the city, Squid and me got instantly paralyzed. We called him on his bullshit, not sure why. I control darkness in people's hearts, the darkness in everyone's souls. You are mine. Oh, eat a bag of dicks, Squid tells him. That's not how it works. Kane isn't listening cause it's his power and he says that's how it works. Meanwhile, I just sit back and ask myself a question. Why can't I hold all this spirit? Spend infinite spirit. Break Kane's hold. Brace for whining. How? You can't resist me. The darkness is in everyone's heart. Okay, it's Edgardo's turn to be TC. You're wrong. My soul is a shining beacon filled with light and a burning hope that no shadow can touch. It is a pinpoint of justice, a shining star that will deliver freedom to the universe. I will root out the darkness, the evil of this land. No shadow will be spared my light. Kane just can't comprehend how he's about to lose. He does the shadow paralysis thing again. No cell, infinite spirit. Who the hell do you think you're dealing with? Swift uppercut, battle cry, unlimited raw spirit punch. King gets punched into the sun. Cue shit being lost by absolutely everyone again. Squid is okay. We rest up and figure out our next move. My ultra power only works if I'm in Haven. That doesn't do us a lot of good. Squid finds out that Haven's unlimited spirit effect lingers for a day after we leave. Zero is weeks away in the city. More players are on their way to Haven, and even though I have infinite spirit, I can only use it to punch people. I'll get killed eventually. We're basically stuck, until I notice that we've leveled up. I don't really give a fuck about my stats at this point, but there's a small power that really catches my eye. Teleportation. I have exactly enough points to purchase it. Normally, I wouldn't have had enough spirit to use it. But Haven, so it works. Squid upgraded his fire punch. It was the good way to go. I tell Squid that he can stay behind. This is gonna be dangerous. I might not be coming back. He tells me that he's with me to the end, that he intends to see things through, and that he's got my back no matter what. In the middle of town square, Edgardo and the guy called Squid share a sweaty, shirtless, muscly, manly hug for all the world to see. And yes, it was super homo. Actually, we just had to be touching so I could teleport us both, but shut the fuck up. We arrived outside of Haven, and the shield was still up. Xero mocked us, saying that he was invincible behind this wall and we couldn't do anything. This shield can withstand 1,000 times the force of anything you could possibly throw at it. People just kept forgetting. Raw spirit can't be resisted by anything. I'll just have to hit it in 1,001 times harder. Bonsai. I still flinch whenever I remember typing that. So damn cheesy. One more battle cry. Blow infinite spirit. And nothing. Not a damn thing. Xero refuses to post in actual RP after that. I think he's had a stroke or something. He posts plenty in this discussion threads though. Everyone did. The entire community spammed the forums declaring that I should be banned, flayed and hung for my shenanigans. The next day when I tried to log in, I found that the forum had been shut down due to popular opinion. I never saw Squid after that. We had never exchanged emails or anything. But I like to think that Edgardo is still frozen in that moment in time. His fist crashing through the shield and connecting with Xero's big stupid face. And Edgardo is smiling. He won. He, Squid, Golden Arm. They won.